Welcome to the first in the series of disease highlights. This week, focusing on HIV, and since it is a big topic, I'll probably be breaking it up into several different sections. And HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus, and it's a lentivirus, a member of the retrovirus family, that causes AIDS, otherwise known as the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. And it causes a progressive failure of the system, allowing life-threatening opportunistic infections and cancers to thrive. Infection from HIV can occur through blood, semen, vaginal fluid, pre-ejaculate, or breast milk. And within these bodily fluids, it's both a free virus and virus within infected immune cells. And the four major routes of transmission are through unsafe sex, contaminated needles, breast milk, and transmissions from mother to her baby at birth, through perinatal transmissions. And screenings of blood products for the HIV virus has largely eliminated transmission through blood transfusions or infected blood products in the developed world, at least. It is considered a biological pandemic by the WHO, the World Health Organization, yet complaints about the HIV virus may play a key role in the risk from it. And in 1981 to 2006, it killed over 25 million people and still infects about 0.6% of the world's population. And in 2009, 2.6 million people were newly infected, even though there was intensified awareness and preventative measures put into place. Now, let's see how the HIV virus functions. The HIV virus infects the cells in the human immune system, such as the helper T cells, specifically the CD4 plus T cells, macrophages, and dendritic cells. HIV infection leads to low levels of CD4 plus T cells through three main mechanisms: direct viral killing of the infected cells, increased rates of apoptosis in infected cells, killing of CD4 plus T cells by CD8 cytotoxic lymphocytes that recognize the infected cells. When the CD4 plus T cells decline below a critical level, cell-mediated immunity is decreased severely, and the body becomes progressively more susceptible to opportunistic infections. Most untreated people with HIV-1 will develop AIDS, and these individuals will mostly die from other infections caused by the weakened immune system by AIDS. And it's not an immediate change from HIV to AIDS. Most of these individuals infected with HIV will usually take around 10 years to progress to the AIDS stage. And some will progress sooner, some will take longer to progress to AIDS. And treatment with antiretrovirals increases the life expectancy of the people infected. But after HIV has progressed to a diagnosable AIDS, the average survival time with this therapy is estimated to be a little over 5 years. And without the therapy, someone who has AIDS typically dies within 1 year. Let's talk about the classification of HIV. And it's a member of the genus lentivirus, part of the Retroviridae. And lentiviruses have many morphologies and biological properties in common. And many species can be infected by lentivirus, which are characteristically responsible to long-duration illnesses with incubation periods, and are transmitted as single-stranded positive sense enveloped RNA viruses. Upon entry into the cell, the viral RNA genome is converted, or reverse transcribed, into double-stranded DNA, the virally encoded reverse transcriptase that is transported along the viral genome. In the virus particle, the resulting DNA is then imported into the cell nucleus and integrated with the existing DNA of the cell by virally encoded integrase and host cofactors. Once the virus is in there, it may become latent, allowing the virus and the cell to avoid detection by the immune system. Or the virus may also start to transcribe the genes and start producing new RNA genomes and viral proteins that are packaged and released from the cell as new virus particles that infect other cells and continue this cycle. Now, another thing that's interesting to note is that you may have noticed that when I was talking before, I mentioned HIV-1. And in fact, there are two types of HIV that have been identified, HIV-1 and HIV-2. And HIV-1 is the version of HIV that you hear most about. It's very infectious, has a high virulence, it's globally prevalent, and it's the disease that you commonly refer to as coming from the chimpanzee. And this is a disease that's usually globally infecting everyone. It was also termed LAV and HTLV3. HIV-2 is has a much lower virulence rate and a much lower infectivity rate, and therefore it's only prevalent in Western Africa. And the origin of this disease was from the Sudi-Manga bee. Now, I don't want this video to become too long, so in the next part of this HIV discussion, we'll be talking about the signs, symptoms of HIV, different types of infections, and the transmission rates depending on body fluids and things like that. Alright, see you guys next time.